Hi, this is Billie Beene here with a world news flash update. Today's date, August 15, 2024, time about 10 a.m. in Texas. This is World Episode 196. Some of my sources are God in the Bible Patriot subscribers, Hal Turner, Moon of Alabama, Dr. William Mount, ANIA K+. And what we'll be covering: U.S. military buildup in the Mediterranean Sea. Israel mobilizes 700,000. Russia mobilizes 5 million. And new president for Ukraine. So let's get started. I have a Patriot subscriber who says, Billie, sending U.S. carriers to the Middle East is like the U.S. Union Army defeating the Confederates at Gettysburg with regard to ability. The aircraft carriers will make great underwater reefs for marine life. There are many analysts who share that also, that same sentiment. And I have a Patriot subscriber talking about Israel, the current situation with Iran. Israel is unwilling to give up apartheid, barbaric genocide, real estate theft. And Israel's, this is new information for me, I haven't heard this from anyone else. Israel's Samson option also includes preemptive nuking on certain targets in the U.S. And I would speculate that would be like Washington, D.C., where Israel might feel that it had been betrayed, and would like to bring up, let's not forget about the USS Liberty, a ship, a U.S. Navy ship in 1967 that Israel tried to sink and did kill up to 37 sailors and wounded many more. And so, yeah, Israel's completely capable of turning on the U.S. So, I would reasonably be able to support their Samson option, but also include a preemptive strike, and I speculate Washington, D.C. Okay. Dr. William Mount brings out that Russia is mobilizing 5 million. Israel is mobilizing 700,000. The deep state wants war, war, war. And they really want it right now before the November U.S. presidential election, because President Trump is going to shut it down. And the deep state, according to Dr. Mount, is operating out of Switzerland. And so we have that going on. Now, Hal Turner has returned from vacation, is bringing up some interesting information and intel, so that's good. So we have Israel, the attack by Iran on Israel is imminent, and I would like to add that according to space weather, we do have incoming into Earth, a CME, that will come about this weekend, Saturday, Sunday or so. So I would speculate that Iran would launch during a time when the sun is not putting off X or M flares that would impact communications. So, Hal Turner reports August 15, Israel is attacked by Iran is imminent. And we see this will be a setup between Israel, the U.S., UK, Cyprus, versus Iran, Russia, China, Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, Yemen, and Turkey. And I would like to, and Hal Turner's information. When Iran hits Israel, Syria and Iraq simultaneously are going to attack the U.S. military bases located in Syria and Iraq. And the U.S. believes this attack will be much bigger than the April retaliation. And I have multiple sources that Iran has been moving many hundreds or thousands of missiles to western Iran. And it's believed, in a setup to strike Israel. And we have this. So that's going on in the Middle East. The U.S. military is building up, sending the Teddy Roosevelt carrier, the USS Georgia nuclear sub, the Abraham Lincoln carrier, and many more assets are flowing in. As Monkey Works cited earlier this week, 292 C-17s, large cargo planes, in the last 5 days have lifted cargo, equipment, and troops to the Middle East. So the U.S. NATO is setting up for this Middle East war. Now, what we've been seeing going on in Ukraine, Russia, is August 6th, it was Ukraine troops and also troops from allegedly called mercenaries, but it's believed to be troops and officers from France, Georgia, and Poland that made up a group 11,500 strong who went into traditional Russia, ostensibly to attack the Kursk nuclear power plant. And it's believed, and then by August 8, 2 days later, Russia was able to mobilize enough troops to begin pushback. And in today's the 15th, on August 13 to 14, Russia's count of taking down the Ukraine and the NATO or Western troops. Georgia is not a member of NATO, but supposedly mercenaries or troops from Georgia were also involved. Is 2,000, and they took out 35 tanks and 220 armored vehicles, but 2,000 troops. And it's believed that Russia is now encircling the troops in this area, Bryansk, Belgorod, and primarily Kursk. And the Akhmed unit commander, Abdi Alvadanov, announces Russia stopped Ukraine after it had gone inside traditional Russia 30 kilometers or about 19 miles in the last 24 hours. So that's August 13. So the Ukraine and other mercenaries entered August 6. By August 8, Russia had mobilized troops, and now apparently they are circling those Ukraine and mercenary troops. And August 6, Ukraine approached Sedza, that's a small village just prior to Kursk. And August 8, Russia sent in special forces and regular combat units. Ukraine initially went in with 1,500 to 2,000 and eventually brought in 11,500, and including mercenaries from Poland, France, Georgia. And it's alleged that Washington, D.C. said it's a no-go for Ukraine to go into traditional Russia. And it's alleged that Ukraine ignored that advice and that Ukraine had been making probing false flags using, in the past 2 years, different groups like Russian Volunteers or Legion of Freedom of Russia, alleging that these were Russian resistance fighters. Hal Turner's intel. Russia, since the Kursk invasion, Russia is now firmly saying no negotiation with Kiev or Washington, D.C., and Russia is mobilizing 5 million, it's believed, to then, completely take Ukraine. And from ANIA K, a Polish journalist, the U.S. plans to replace Zelensky as president with a former Minister of Interior. His name is Ansen, A-N-S-E-N, last name Avakov, A-V-A-K-O-V. He was in Ukraine, the Minister of Interior from 2014 to 2021 when he became an assistant or part of the cabinet of Zelensky. So ANIA K's information from Russian intel is that Washington, D.C. planned to replace Zelensky with Ansen Avakov. So that's going on. And also her information is that Russia had taken out at least 2,000 of the 11,500 troops, Ukraine and the mercenaries that were trying to take the Kursk nuclear power plant. And I have a Patriot subscriber, Polish troops in Kursk. Mercenaries are military. Yeah. A lot of analysts believe that they're probably regular military for Poland and France, and that the most, which are NATO countries, and most likely also military from Georgia, which is not part of NATO. So we see Russia mobilizing 5 million, Israel mobilizing 700,000, Washington, D.C. getting ready to replace Zelensky. I believe it would be good to pray for certainly the U.S. military and for world peace. I love you, and I'll see you soon.